Good morning, everyone. It's time for a special community profile program on WLON, WHS, WCSL, and KTCBroadcasting.com. We have the studio camera on today, and with us in the studio for the community profile is special guest from the Cherryville Little Theater. And before we introduce her, let me also again wish a speedy recovery to my co-host and executive producer of the community profile, Miss Sandy Alexander, who's been out of action now for a couple of weeks after falling at home. And Sandy, we wish you well and hurry back soon, dear. We miss you. All right, with me in the studio, Becca DeGregory. Good morning, Becca.
Good morning.
Becca is the director of a production with the Cherryville Little Theater that starts tomorrow night.
Yes, sir, tomorrow night.
All right, tell everybody what the production is and show times, and then we'll talk a little bit more in depth about the people and things about the production. Okay.
Well, it opens tomorrow night, May 15th at 7:30 p.m. It'll run May 15th, 16th, and 17th. The Sunday shows are at 3 o'clock, and the Friday and Saturday shows are at 7:30.
Mm-hmm. And it's Charlotte's Web.
And it's Charlotte's Web.
Charlotte's Web. Now, that's a beloved children's story for years and years. I remember being read Charlotte's Web in elementary school by our third grade teacher. She read it to us a little bit out of the book every day. She would read to us, and of course, my nieces, who are now grown women with families, when they were little, we watched Charlotte's Web animated movies and so forth. But we were talking before we went on the air that Charlotte's Web is such a beloved story, but when it was first adapted to the stage, and you said you guys looked it up maybe somewhere around 2000?
Yeah, it was early 2000s. It hadn't been out too long, but it's been...
Well, it's got to be a challenge now to do Charlotte's Web on the stage, because anyone who's not familiar with the story, most of the characters are animals.
Yeah, and it was the most difficult part was trying to figure out how to make people look and act like animals.
Yeah, because you can't find. There's a pig. Does the pig talk?
The pig talks. There's there's a goose, a gander, and they have babies. There's horses and there's cows. There's a talking spider.
Yeah, of course, Charlotte is the spider, right? Yeah, and she talks. And gosh, it's bringing back such great memories to just sit here and talk about Charlotte's Web. So how do you turn people into animals?
What we did is we sat down, and the people are Connie helping me with costumes, and we printed off pictures of animals, and we just stared at them, and I said, okay, a gosling has orange legs, so we've got to emulate orange legs with tights, and they have a pointed bottom that looks like a feather, so we had to make a bustle that looks like that. So we just broke down every character and took the big things that are really makes that animal, and we made it into a person.
Wow. So costume design was a big and it probably you probably had to start pretty early to get all that done. It's not just like you can go out and buy a period costume for some productions. You've got to make costumes.
A lot of our costumes were handmade. Wilbur's mom, or the guy playing Wilbur, his mom sewed the pig costume for us.
Yeah, Wilbur is the pig, and the premise of Charlotte's Web is a young girl on a farm. Tell folks about what happens.
It's a young girl on a farm, and her parents are raising pigs, and this Wilbur he's so tiny and so little, and Dad says, you know what, we can't keep a small pig around. So Dad sneaks off one morning to try and get rid of the pig, and Fern, the young girl, walks out and says, Daddy, what are you doing? And she stops him she saves Wilbur's life. And, Dad tells her that they can't keep that pig on that farm, but their uncle has a bigger farm. And so Wilbur goes and moves in at the uncle's farm. And there he just runs into all these great characters. He meets Charlotte, which is a riding spider. And the old sheep kind of jokes with Wilbur and says, you won't live here long. They're going to make you into smoked ham and bacon. And that scares Wilbur. And he starts begging all of his friends to find a way to help him live. And Charlotte gets this great idea that she's going to write in the web. and she's going to fool the people into thinking that this pig crawls up into the web every night and writes amazing words like some pig and humble.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, they fool the people into thinking that he writes in this web.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a story of how Charlotte helped him stay alive and not turn into bacon.
How about that? Now, who wrote Charlotte's Web? It was originally, I guess, a book.
Mm-hmm. And it was E.B. White. She wrote the story for children.
And how far back does that original writing
I
go?
found a copy that it was in like 1950. The cast member bought me the book, and it was an old book, and said that it was actually the book that she read to her son.
Yeah.
And because I casted her son, she
That's
wanted me
cool
to have that script.
I tell you, it sounds just like it'd just be just a wonderful production, and a lot of children in the play,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, you said off the air we were talking 34?
34 cast, and
Wow.
that doesn't count lighting and tech and backstage help.
A lot of folks going into helping turn the little theater stage into. I guess you got to turn it into a farm scene or a barn anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so the spider, Charlotte is the spider. Charlotte's Web. Who plays Charlotte?
A young girl named Kira Howard.
So it's a youngster playing Charlotte. And what about the part of the pig Wilbur?
Wilbur is played by Harrison Burnett, and he's about 11 or 12.
Wow, these must be really cool kids
Oh
to
my
just
gosh,
get out
they're
there.
phenomenal. They're
Yeah.
so. And I told a friend of mine, I said, it's amazing to work with the characters, building characters on stage, and then the vast amount of people that you meet backstage. I mean, everybody brings in something different.
And part of the little girl, Fern.
Fern is actually played by my little sister.
Oh, okay.
And it's amazing to watch her because usually she's hiding behind me, and I'm the one on stage. And this time we got to switch roles, and it's just amazing.
How old is she?
She is 15.
And what's her name?
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I know you've had fun directing. Directing is have you directed before?
I've directed through my high school, which I graduated 3 years ago. And that's really where I got it started. And I've helped my dad. My dad's directed a lot in Lincolnton.
Oh, okay.
And this is really the first time that I've broke away and done it on my own.
Yeah, here at Cherry. Now, so it's a 1 weekend deal, right? You put all these weeks and months of practice in, and you do 3 shows. So
it's 6 shows. It's this weekend and next.
Oh,
weekend.
it is next weekend. Okay, good. I thought, man, that's a lot of work. You know, I remember doing a play years ago, and we only did 3 nights. And we worked hard enough in that 3 nights. I couldn't wait. I'm not the biggest person to be on stage. I actually did the play to kind of help get over my stage fright. I always thought, well, if you can't swim, jump in. If you're afraid to be in front of an audience, jump on that stage.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and it was a lot of fun, but a lot of work. And how long have you been working on putting this together?
We auditioned in late March, started practicing in April, and been practicing ever since then.
Yeah, a lot of work goes in, and like I say, I imagine the costuming, getting these getting these costumes for. So you've got the pig, you've got the spider. You said you had the goose and goslings, and seems like it wasn't. Now I'm going by what I remember seeing when my nieces were little. In the animated movie, there was a rat that talked.
There's Templeton the rat.
Templeton, okay. Yeah, so somebody has to be a rat.
Oh, yeah. And the girl that plays Templeton is so amazing.
Yeah.
She just embodied that character. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
She talks and she creeps around, and it's so good.
Good. Well, great. Well, tickets, folks can get tickets in advance somewhere, or
I can. The Cherryville Little Theater's Facebook page has been posting. There's a phone number, and I don't know the phone number off the top of my head, that you can call and get advance tickets. They're $8 for adults and $6 for students and seniors.
Yeah. Okay. And you maybe get tickets at the door.
You sure can. You can get tickets at the door
and,
as well.
And with all those kids, you know, there'll be a lot of proud parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters. There'll be a lot of people there. So you might want to get your tickets early if you want to come see Charlotte's Web. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend, and again next weekend. The times for Friday and Saturday are
7:30.
And Sunday
is 3:00.
And that's both weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool, very cool. And we were talking before we went on the air. The little theater in Cherryville, they're planning a big year.
They do. They have a big year coming up.
What else is coming up?
The next one that they'll do is Shrek the Musical, and that'll be their summer production with the kids. It's like a summer drama camp.
Mm-hmm. Do you plan to be involved in some more this year?
I do. I'll probably come in and help with makeup and things like that for the summer one. And then in October, they'll be doing Grease the Musical.
Mm-hmm.
And that one will actually be directed by my dad, Pete DeGregory.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to be on stage for that one.
There you go. I meant to ask you, in Charlotte's Web, you're strictly directing. You're not directing and acting?
Just this time, just directing.
How did you get the word out to get so many, a cast of 34? How did you get and gather such a big cast?
I think it was a miracle. Just word of mouth, and I work at a child care center, so it was a lot of, well, why don't you come try out? You're so good in class. And there's a very strong youth at Cherryville Little Theater. They have a very strong kids that come in and do all these productions. So it was a lot of just kids that kept coming back and trying out. And parents that have been in past productions, finally getting excited that they can bring their kids out to do a play this time.
Absolutely. Well, I know there got to be some very proud parents, and you guys. I know how hard the work you have to put into it. And how many times a week did you practice?
We started with Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday and Friday, so 4 nights a week.
Wow.
And about 2 weeks ago, we started doing 5 nights a week.
And could you get everybody there every night?
It was amazing. I have a very determined, hard-working group of kids.
And have you had your dress rehearsal yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We actually started our we did our dress rehearsal a little different. We did a whole week of dress rehearsal.
Okay.
Just to get used to it and get used to the costumes, especially with the animals that had to learn how to walk with these funny things on them. We did a full week, and actually last night was our final rehearsal because I'm going to let them have a break tonight to get some rest and get excited for tomorrow night.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Anything else you want to tell the folks about Charlotte's Web and or Cherryville Little Theater or any other productions you're doing? Are you involved in? You live in Lincoln, correct? You involved over there with theater in Lincoln?
I have been very involved with the Lincoln Theater Guild. They're a great group of people. They're actually doing the Beverly Hillbillies coming up very soon, and it's going to be a great production. Just that I hope to see everybody there, and I hope that they enjoy the old classic story of Charlotte's Web.
Yep, Charlotte's Web. Now, there's no music or singing in Charlotte's Web.
This is just a straight play this time.
Yeah. Is it? How would you describe Charlotte? It's not. Is it comedy, drama, a little humor in it, a little bit of everything?
It's a little bit of everything.
It's very touching in moments,
It's got some great hilarious parts. There's a part where Wilbur sneaks off and has the whole entire farm, all the adults chasing after him. He tried to break out of the farm, and it's so funny. The first night I saw it, I laughed so hard that they had to stop practice because they were like, "Miss Becca, you've got to stop laughing." So it's funny, and then right towards the end, it has a real sad moment, and you can kind of feel that touching. So it's a good bit of everything.
Yeah. For those of you familiar with the story, for those not, we won't give any, we won't do any spoilers here for Charlotte's Web, but you just seem like you must be great with kids. Well, that's what you do. You work with it in a child care center at a church in Lincoln. Yeah. So you handling all these kids, you got to be patient and everything. Great.
I love
with them.
it. It's like being, I call it at home. I love working with children. Their hearts are so raw. They tell you just like it is. There's no kidding. There's no joking. And I love that. And they're easily motivated. They want to help, and they desire to do what you'd like them to do. So it's so great to work with them.
Yeah. And some of these kids maybe have never done anything like this. Some others maybe have.
I've got, I'd say a good bit of them haven't done productions before, and then the other half are pros at it.
Yeah.
And, you can't even, watching it, you can't tell which is which. They're all just so amazing that there's not one, one of my newbies I think is the best thing in the world. I think that she's somewhere in a past life has done 500 plays because she is just so natural on stage.
Yeah. That's the way it goes sometimes. All right. Well, fantastic. And any kind of Facebook, or I know you mentioned Facebook, didn't you? What about websites or anything for the Cherryville Little Theater?
It's a Cherryville Little Theater, cherryvillelittletheater.org, but you can also find it on Facebook. It's just Cherryville Little Theater.
Okay. All right. So everybody, it sounds like it'd just be a great production, and you're welcome to get a ticket and get out there and watch Charlotte's Web this weekend or next weekend at the Cherryville Little Theater, located on, it'd be West Academy. Is it West Academy Street?
301 West Academy.
That used to be it's an old school, part of an old school campus, isn't it? Yeah, they still have the theater building there. Yeah, I remember that well. All right. As far as the little theater in Cherryville itself, do they have like you can join the little theater for like a fee or due or whatever, and anything like that, and get discount tickets or anything?
So they have
something like that?
what they call a patron ad, which is where it's kind of like their season ticket holders. It's different prices, and they call it a 1-star player, 2-star player, things like that. And you get your name in the playbill as a supporter of the theater, but you also get a really great discount on prices. It's like a bulk amount for a certain amount.
So they can find out more about that probably at the show.
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right. Becca DeGregory, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I just hope you have a wonderful time and break a leg.
All right, thank you so much.
They still say that, don't they?
They sure do, break a leg.
What is it? It's bad luck to say good luck, so you say break a leg.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in and talking with us today about Charlotte's Web at the Cherryville Little Theater. Thank you so much. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for today, and we'll be back with Community Profile next week, normally heard Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in for this special Thursday edition. We'll see you next time.
You know satellite radio's slogan, right?
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
We have a different idea.
We fight for freedom.
Radio the way it should be.